Thanks everybody for joining. Hope you're having a great conference so far. My name is Mike McGann. I'm in marketing with GSI. I'm also very pleased to welcome our main presenter, Larry Stocks with GSI. He is an E1 development and orchestration manager who will go over how to use Orchestrator to calculate distances on routes prior to shipping. The first slide, hopefully that you can see, is our safe harbor statement. I'll give you guys just a couple seconds to view that. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. You should see that now. And just next, we want to go over after the safe harbor statement. We just want to go through a quick overview of today's meeting, which could last as could be done 45 to an hour, maybe less. Just depends on if we get questions. But speaking of questions, I'd like to take a moment to go over this. It probably goes without saying now, but I do need to add that to ask questions, you can click on your Q&A or in the chat. You can provide questions during the presentation. We won't stop the presentation for your questions, but we will have some time at the end for Larry to go over those. And so please feel free. We welcome you to submit that at the end or during the session. And then we'll turn it over to Larry, and he will kind of go over how to calculate distances. So I did want to direct your attention to okay, you're not seeing the slides, it looks like. Okay. Well, let's see if, I'll tell you what, here's what we'll do. I'm going to read the safe harbor statement. This presentation and the information that contains are confidential and protected by law. Only intended webinar viewers are authorized to receive the contents of this webinar, and any others are prohibited from viewing. Any liability and negligence any liability and negligence or otherwise arising from any third party or acting or refraining from acting on any information contained in this webinar is hereby excluded. Copyright in this webinar's materials belongs solely to GSI unless otherwise noted. Any unauthorized use or distribution will subject the misuser to penalties and damages. So I hope you all memorize that. There will be a quiz at the end. Just kidding. So I'm going to assume you know, but at the bottom in your screen is the notes are in the chat. You can ask your questions in the chat. And I'm going to share the link in chat now. We have every attendee on this call is entered to win a $50 Amazon gift card if you follow this link. You're not going up against everybody else. You're entered to win just with the people on the call. So in attending this seminar. So let me, I will share that now. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody, but hopefully you will see this. Let me know if you do not see the screen. You should have a link there, and it should go ahead and test that link and enter it if you would like, or at least if you don't plan on entering, we'd love for you to, but just go make sure it works and let me know in the chat if it does not. While you're checking out that link, I'll kind of wrap up this introduction here with just a small piece about why GSI. And I'm sharing a slide. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll just kind of go with, really for a brief company overview. Why partner with GSI? GSI is a full-service ERP, SaaS, cloud, ITSM, cybersecurity reseller, consulting, and managed services organization. We really built our company Though although we are evolving and changing up our offering, we really have built our company on the power of JD Edwards, and it underpins and is the foundation of everything we do. We also offer advanced AI and automation, are used in all of our products and services to help our clients reduce TCO and increase ROI. That's a phrase many of us marketers love to hate, but it is important. We have offices nationwide and partners worldwide, which allows us to offer a 24/7 global support model. We are the only partner you will find in the industry that has 100% guarantee on everything we do, and we really do stand behind that. Again, in the chat, I'll direct you to the chat. Is your chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card if you just provide information. Link works. Thanks. Thank you, Tom. So Ed, with that glorious introduction, I know you're going to be in demo mode here, but yeah, please, go ahead and Larry, take it away.
All right. I appreciate it, Mike. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Appreciate you taking the time to join the session. Again, my name's Larry Stocks, development manager here at GSI. Been involved with JD Development and a consultant since '97. Been with GSI going on 11 years and manage both the project and managed services side over here at GSI. So during this session, I'm going to show you how to use orchestrations to calculate distances on routes prior to shipping. We've had several clients of ours here at GSI request this, which we built. Now, each of them vary a little bit in their own way to accommodate their specific needs, but the main process is pretty much the same, which is what we'll be going over here in just a few minutes. Thought this would be a good session to go over for those specifically in manufacturing and distribution. We've like I said, we have a few clients that have requested similar aspects. So just seemed like something that be nice to get out there for more folks. Our clients seem to be pretty happy with the solutions. It's reducing man hours while also improving efficiency with shipping their products. So anyway, so let me, at a high level, here's my main orchestration here. At a high level, there's 5 main tasks to accommodate this whole process. One is we're going to get coordinates for the from location. We're going to get coordinates for the to location. We built a custom request leveraging with Groovy that cleans up those results and combines them into one variable. Then step 4, we calculate the miles difference between the 2 coordinates that we've got between the from and the to. And then last, we have another custom request that cleans up those results and puts them in a proper format that we want to see. So sounds easy. And overall, this thing is not all that difficult. There's a lot of stuff going on with it, but all of it is pretty straightforward. So now that we kind of went over the high level, those 5 steps are basically right here. I'm going to start digging into the weeds a little bit for each step. So let me open up all of step 1 just so you can see what is going on here. All right. So this is, hopefully that's big enough for everybody. So this is all part of step 1. So you can see we have multiple connectors going on. We have multiple orchestrations, data requests, multiple custom requests. So all of this is really behind, I guess, the scenes in step 1, which this is all just getting the coordinates for the from location. So if I click on the inputs of my main orchestration, you notice that the only 2 parameters there are is a from and a to address book number. All right. So This first connector that's really all we're doing is calling another orchestration, passing in the from address book number. All right. So you notice up here in your connectors, you can call orchestrations or notifications. In this case, all of our connectors are calling other orchestrations. So, but you do have the option there, and this is the orchestration we're calling. So jumping back out here, just to kind of follow the flow here, input parameter, we're putting the from and to. Then this step one, we're specifically focusing on the from address book number, using a connector, calling another business function, passing that from address book number. All right. And within this orchestration, it's going to call a data request. And it's going out to the F0116, which is where all of the address information is held in the for address book. That from address book number is going to come in, and that data request will get the the address information for that from to address number. Okay. Now, once we get the address information, we have another connector that calls yet again another orchestration. The whole thing with this connector and this calling of this orchestration is to get the mailing or address information over so that we can leverage those as parameters in the next orchestration. So I'm going to open up this orchestration here. And if I open up the inputs, you'll notice that it's all the mailing information, address lines, city, state, country, county, zip code. So we've passed those parameters over through the connector. And within this orchestration, we're now using these as the parameters. Once we get that over there, we have another connector that is going to call the final orchestration. And just to show you again, it's calling another orchestration here. And these are the parameters. Let me go back because it'll be easier to see on this last one here. Let me just open it up again. Oops. Hold up. I'm not sure what's going on here. All right. So this is the final orchestration. So what it's doing is passing the address information out to an API call, because we're trying to get the coordinates for that first address book number, your from address book number. So this final orchestration has a final connector. This one is calling an API. It's an API REST call that we are doing for out to a place called PC Mylar. And for those of you that don't know what PC Mylar is, it's basically a software solution used for tracking truck routing miles for IFTA, IRP, and rate per miles, that type of stuff. So we're leveraging an API REST call out to PC Mylar to get the coordinates for address number one. So within here you get, we're just doing a get, simply getting a response from that API call. So this is the API we're physically using, which is also in the pathing here. The parameters is our mailing information. Within our headers, we have our authorization code to use in this API call. And then we just have our output. But this final connector here, like I said, we're getting the coordinates. When they come back, that's where these custom requests come in that are Groovy related. I'll just open one. They're all very similar. But really what they're doing here is the whole first portion here with these replace alls is we are simply manipulating the output that was retrieved from that API call. We're removing all the slashes that came back. It came back to us in a format that we don't need to use. So this whole first portion here, these replace alls, is cleaning things up, removing all the slashes. The second piece here with the indexes, these indexes are is basically to access the content of the coordinates within the JSON that was returned back. And then this very last piece with the concatenations, that's basically putting concatenating things, to put it into a format that's more understandable, more readable on our end. So as you can tell, I don't know why this is showing up like that, but let me back out and do this one more time. And I do want to show you that we're going to do the same exact process, just leveraging different orchestrations, but we're leveraging this, doing the same exact process for the two address number. We basically want to get coordinates for the two address book number, and you'll see that when they're side by side, they look almost identical. So if you look here, steps 1 and 2 are almost identical. They're pretty much doing the same things. This whole step is just getting the coordinates from address book number, and this whole step is getting the coordinates for the two address book number. Okay. So I'm not going to go over those. So I'm going to jump to step 3, which is another custom request. We're using Groovy. Looks very similar, slightly different, but very similar to what I just showed you. And again, what we're doing here is we have both coordinates at this point in time, our from and to coordinates. We need to put them into a kind of a coordinate 1 semicolon coordinate 2 type of format, because we're going to leverage a different API call out to PC Mylar to get mileage. Okay, so that particular API call is looking specifically for a coordinate 1 semicolon coordinate 2 format. All right, so we have some cleanup to do and get it in that particular position. So right now we have 2 different variables, the from coordinate and the to coordinate. So again, this replace all is just a lot of slashes coming in. We're just cleaning all that up. All of these indexes here are accessing the actual content of the JSON that is returned back from PC Mylar and that API call. This is, we are concatenating, working on concatenating into that specific format I just mentioned that API REST call is looking for. Again, coordinate 1 semicolon coordinate 2 is what that API REST call is looking for. All right, so I'm going to take you into that step 4, and it's another connector. It's just this connector it's calling again another orchestration, the final one. And this one is to get distance from stop. So we have a stops parameter involved here. If I drill into this one, you'll see the orchestration. So let me go into that. All right, and this orchestration, if I look at the inputs, it just has our stops, and it's calling a connector, but this one is actually an API REST call. All right, so this is a different API call than what we did for the coordinates. So it's a different REST call, looking again for a specific format. So here's our API REST call, same one as matching up here. The parameters, we have stops, and then we have something that we call calc miles. Within our headers, we have authorization to work with that API REST call. And then just our output, nothing special there. But the idea is we're at this point, we're passing in our formatted coordinates into this new API REST call into PC Mylar. This one is specifically for getting mileage. The other two API REST calls I showed earlier was to get coordinates for specific addresses. All right. So this one is just doing mileage out here. And then let me bounce back. Oops. Sorry about that. And then the final thing is another custom groovy cleanup. It's the final one. So when we get data back from PC Mylar, again, the stuff that's coming back from PC Mylar is not necessarily the format or the way we want to see it. So again, very similar to what we've already talked about. It's just cleaning up the format and how the miles are presented. That's returned. And then I guess at this point, let me show you. I'm going to run it real quick and kind of show you how it's working. So here's our input parameters. So I'm within our GSI lab, so we don't have a lot of data set up. So I'm going to use 4242, which is in our system. It's tied to Hilton. I think it's a fake account, and the address is in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to use this 4245. It's another fake account, and it's in a place called Arvada, Colorado. So I'm just going to hit run, and you'll see that the mileage came back that we're just under 1,400 miles between the two locations. So, again, looking at that and looking back at the process that we put into place to accommodate this, we basically took the two address book numbers, got coordinates for both of them, leveraged API calls to do that. Then we got the mileage calculated between the two coordinates with a separate API call, and got that mileage returned back in our orchestration. Let me run one more just to show you that this thing is working and doing what's supposed to. This account is for another one in Powhatan, Virginia, and if I run it, you notice the mileage changes slightly over 509 miles. So so the mileage, and we've confirmed this, obviously, that the mileages are coming in correct. Like I said, we have several clients that are leveraging this. The first one took a bit of time, but now that we've built it and played more around with it, we've kind of built onto this a bit more. So what I've demoed you is kind of the same thing that's in place for for all of those clients. It's just what it does beyond this is where it changes slightly. So let me go back real quick. Can you see, Mike, can you see my PowerPoint?
It cannot as of now.
You cannot. Okay.
Just the orchestration.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you know what? So I'm gonna have to upload. I'll upload this as soon as I'm done. But I have a slide on here with a screenshot. So
you might be able to do it in the chat if you try that, or upload it in the chat. I'm not sure if you can do that though with the image.
Yeah, let me try it. Well, let me just see if the image will work. No, it's not even letting me do it. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll just upload the file. Guys, I apologize for this. I'm not sure why I can share one thing but not another. Anyway, so what I was gonna say is, you know, our first request for this originally was just to accommodate, you know, a single calculation between origin and destination, simply to eliminate the manual calculation portion for the user. Like I said, it's kind of, the process has grown into a little bit more of an automated process within transportation for additional clients of ours. So we took that, let's see, we took that orchestration, applied that, put it into their system. But for instance, two of our other clients, we were able to create a mass update process. So we took, we added a custom button, some fields on the work with routing entries. Basically, so the user would simply select a route in the routing entries application, and they can click this custom distance mass button, which calls our orchestration via the B98 org business function. And basically this portion gets the distances and transit days for all routes inside, giving them options to accept the most efficient routes prior to getting them shipped. So like I said, we showed you the orchestration. This gets you the coordinates. This gets you mileage, which is kind of the original case, but we've kind of gone beyond that on others that I couldn't really I couldn't really share, and I honestly, I just didn't have enough time to add it into this presentation. So but you can do much more than what I actually demoed. So you can do mass updates. In addition, we built additional orchestrations to also get fuel surcharges for specific transportation based on the distance obtained. So that way they could appropriately charge the surcharge, or change it to a lesser, more efficient route. So we have a couple of those that are leveraging the mass updates and the fuel surcharges. So there's definitely a lot of capabilities here, leveraging orchestrations to you know, to calculate distances, appropriately route you know, shipments and that type of stuff. You know, I guess final things is, again, leveraging orchestrations and the use of API calls. You can definitely turn your business or specific warehouses into a much more efficient, streamlined process when it comes to shipping and choosing routes or fuel surcharges. So like I said, you saw, I mean, overall, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, none of the steps are extreme. It's just a lot of different pieces, a lot of connectors, I'm not sure if anybody was counting, but I think overall we had, I think 7 orchestrations, 7 different connectors, three API calls, a data request, and 4 very similar custom Groovy requests to clean up results that are returned back. So, I mean, so there's a lot of pieces, but nothing extreme. So it's just a matter of getting the specific data that you need, using a connector to call other orchestrations, to pass new parameters that you need to gather connectors and so on. I guess overall that's pretty much all I had on it. So let me look at.
We did get a couple of
Okay.
if you're ready for them. Yeah, Randy asked, and thank you everyone. Please feel free to continue to ask questions in the chat. I'll just relay that to everyone in case they can't hear, but or see the chat. Where do your clients typically call the orchestration from, and what are they doing with the returned miles, i.e., storing in JDE? Also, you touched on that, I think, a little, but also, are they using anything like this for determining rates?
So yes. So within JD Edwards, most of these clients that are leveraging this are leveraging the orchestrations via buttons on applications. The routing entries was one of them. I think the other, gosh, I can't remember the specific application, but they basically had us create buttons that that's what is kicking off the orchestrations. So again, to do that, you do need the ability to use B98 orc to call an orchestration from an event rule. So that does have to be, if I remember correctly, I think you have to be on tools release 923 at a minimum to get the B98 orc. So if you're on prior to that, or if you have a release prior to that, we'd probably have to come up with a different way to invoke that orchestration. But all of our clients are leveraging them through custom forms, custom buttons, that type of thing. The results that are coming back, so mileage or rates, whatever it is, some of them are storing them in JD Edwards. I think one of them is we're storing this information into a custom tag file of some sort. Another one, we are just storing them in, I think, a user reserved field in one of the tables. So it varies. I mean, there's nothing set in stone where to put these. It's just whatever works for your business. Is there a specific field you're not using that we can leverage? That type of stuff. So as far as determining rates, I honestly, I don't know if they're leveraging this for rates. I know they're doing things for the surcharge, which I didn't necessarily show you guys, but I do know they're pulling back things with the fuel surcharge, and based on what's coming back, they are making appropriate decisions. So, do we want to pay this much or charge this much surcharge to, send it by truck, or, is it cheaper to fly it, that type of thing. So, but I really can't get into the rates portion of it, so I apologize.
Sure. Well, and to that end, I just shared your contact information in the chat. I'll do it outside on the page as well. We did have another question from Jennifer, and kind of a similar follow-up from Anna, but are all your clients using PC Mylar, or have you integrated this orchestration with another tool to calculate distance?
Well, yes, so far the few that we have, they all have PC Mylar, but I will say it is not limited to PC Mylar. So I mean, we can definitely connect to any other third-party tools. So it's just a matter of putting those connectors and leveraging API calls to whoever that third party is. So yes, we've used PC Mylar only, but this will work for other tools.
And Anna asked a follow-up question along those lines you may not know the answer to, but will PC Mylar work for Mexico addresses? Who are you using to get the coordinates?
So the answer there, I'm not 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure that we tested this, and I think the API that we're using is only for North American addresses. But I'm certain there's other API calls out there that we can do for foreign addresses.
A little more reason to, as a marketing guy, I've got to say that's all the more reason for them to reach out to you directly.
Yeah,
and follow up. Yeah.
Reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. So, so right now, these are the ones that have requested this have, they are North American companies. And that's pretty much what we're leveraging. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we tested foreign addresses and it did not work. But like I said, I'm sure there's other means to do this very same thing with foreign addresses. Just got to connect to probably a different API or different tool, something along that line.
Wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and share the reminder again to sign up for the Amazon gift card from GSI. It is a $50 gift card, and it's everyone here. If you sign up your name, you'll just be competing against just each other on this call. So on this seminar. So please feel free to it's pretty much a name and email to enter the contest. One question I had that comes up is how long does this take, or what situations do you find clients are coming from to request this situation? Like, what's the problem they've been having? Is there a common thread to, calculate, that they're having a problem with, and then they say, can you implement this solution for us? I mean, is there something a common problem everyone has?
Probably the two most common occurrences between these is one, eliminating users from having to manually calculate all of these routes. The other is, which kind of goes hand in hand, is just streamlining it, right? It's, if you're waiting on people to manually calculate these things, your warehouse or whoever it is, they're waiting for those to be done so that they can ship them out appropriately and get them out the warehouse. But so you tend to be waiting on people. They're tied up with other things, and this kind of eliminates the need for people to calculate these now. So it just automates everything better from point A to point B, and they no longer waiting on people and have those delays any longer. And those are probably the majority of why those were requested so far, the ones that we've done anyway. So,
I mean, this is a pretty straightforward application with a straightforward, issue, but is there anything on the horizon for, and I know I'm catching you off guard here with this question, but on the horizon for this, for updates for this app, I mean, is there something around the corner of JD Edwards that you anticipate having to improve with this, or you just kind of keep plugging away and changing with the needs as our clients and customers need with this?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't believe anything is being done on on that side of it. So right now we're just kind of handling the requests as they come in. You know, and like I said, we did the original one and it started out, you know, very simple. Hey, I just want something to calculate, you know, like a single, you know, origin to destination type deal. And then from there, what was odd was it was only within weeks, and we had 2 other clients of ours ask for the same exact thing. So they just wanted to, you know, they had a little bit broader idea of what they want, where they wanted to take this. So so that's where we kind of built upon that. And you know, like I said, now we're using functions to call orchestrations from within event rules, within JD Edwards. You know, we're doing fuel surcharges, we're doing mass updates. So we've definitely taken it to a different level with the next couple.
For sure.
Anyway, yeah, so great stuff. Yeah, and if you do have any questions, yeah, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and be more than happy to chat with you. And maybe you're looking to do something similar, and yeah, give me a ring.
Yeah, well, that sounds great. If anyone else has any questions, yeah, feel free to reach out to Larry directly. I put his contact information, and mine's in there too in the chat, but also on the page. But I think you guys probably don't mind having a few extra minutes back for your day. So we really do appreciate your patience there with the technical snafus in the beginning, but hopefully this is exactly answers some of the questions and needs that you may have. And we really appreciate your time today. Thank you, everybody. Any closing thoughts, Larry, at all? Or I guess we'll just go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah. I will say I'll upload the few slides I do have, just because everybody they couldn't see it. So I'll upload that in here in just a few minutes.
Sounds great. Thanks again, everyone. And it looks like, how do we register for the Amazon card? From Anna, if you go to this link, hopefully you guys can see this. I can see that I shared it in the chat, but there's a link here. I just shared it to everyone. It's that, there we go. Jennifer's got it. So yeah, that link should take you to a form. It's just a form within our website. It's secure. And we don't, you guys will be entered in that, to compete just against the handful of you who are on the call. So thanks again, everyone, and have a great rest of the conference.
Thanks, everybody.